equality of rights under the law shall not be denied or abridged by the United States or by any state on account of sex.
On August 18, 1920, the growing nationwide feminist sentiment in the United States drove forth the ratification of the 19th Amendment, which granted women the right to vote. This amendment was first introduced in 1878 by feminists Susan B. Anthony and Elizabeth Cady Stanton, and took 41 years to be passed by Congress. The 19th Amendment was a huge stride for American women. An even larger movement would have been the Equal Rights Amendment. The Equal Rights Amendment was first presented in 1923 as the Lucretia Mott Amendment by Alice Paul, a suffragist leader at the celebration of the 75th anniversary of the 1848 Seneca Falls Convention. Betty Friedan started the second wave of women's rights with her book The Feminine Mystique in 1963. Betty was a modest leader in the movement, while other women, like Phyllis Schlafly, were pushing for the complete opposite side of women's rights. The ERA was introduced until 1970 in every congressional session, but it never met the fate of the Senate or the House for voting. Phyllis Schlafly stands today as the president of the pro-life, anti-gay, anti-feminist Eagle Forum, which in the 1970s and 80s stood as a defeating force to the ERA.
I cordially invite you to become a member of Eagle Forum so you can work with other men and women who share conservative and pro-family values. We actively participate in the process of self-government and public policy making so that America will continue to be a land of individual liberty, respect for family integrity, public and private virtue, and private enterprise. Please join today.
Phyllis successfully shut down the ERA, but she could not stop the women's movement that had begun by Betty Friedan. In 1970, Betty Friedan organized the Women's Strike for Equality, where women from all over crowded the streets of New York.
Cause this strike to confront the unfinished business of our equality, women young and old, women black and white.
Betty Friedan's organization, now National Organization for Women, fought for a lot of the issues that Phyllis Schlafly shut down.
I am Betty Friedan, and I wrote The Feminine Mystique in 1963, beginning the second wave of feminism. I believe that women have more to offer than being just a housewife. I watched my mother quit her job and never live a fulfilled life after bearing children and becoming a full-time housewife. Women need to find a sense of equality in the household. The 50% divorce rate is because men and women need to find equal roles.
My name is Phyllis Schlafly. I, along with the Eagle Forum members, stopped the ERA, a front for radical assault on marriage and family. I believe that the biggest role of the woman is a homemaker. My largest critic here is Betty Friedan, who strongly advocates the disaster that was the Equal Rights Amendment.
I, Betty Friedan, helped advertise and promote the Equal Rights Amendment with my organization, National Organization for Women. Women need to have their rights guaranteed in the Constitution. The ERA promised economic boost for women. In the American culture, women would benefit from this greatly. There was also more political rights that would be guaranteed to women. You're yourself Schlafly. Aren't you in Congress? Don't you want to see more women have a say?
Well, Friedan, I believe that the right way to go about this is not the ERA. The ERA would force women into military. It would jeopardize benefits under Social Security and then weaken existing legal protections under divorce and marriage laws. America's Judeo-Christian heritage paid homage to women's God-given maternal role, and as a result, women were the most privileged of all the classes of people who ever lived.
In the household, a woman can bear children, take care of the children, and go to work. Don't you think that women deserve to have broader elements in society to give back to their culture?
Well, as shown, it is not only I that believes that this is the most important role. At the end of the ratification bill, a poll released that only 47% of women versus 55% of men supported the ERA, thanks to me. I think that it's pretty clear that if the ERA had passed, we would have had same-sex marriage 25 years ago.
Now, Schlafly, isn't your dear son one of the homosexuals?
Well, Friedan,
Yes.
he himself would also disagree with gay marriage.
Has he said this to you?
Maybe. I am the mother of 6, and in 1992, I was the Illinois Mother of the Year. I'm pro-family.
I have children myself. I am also one for the family, but I believe that there's a greater...
Yeah, but you're also a radical feminist.
I believe that there's more out there in the world that women can do, and I'm here to fight. Politically, the ERA would have given more rights to women with abortion and rape issues. I helped found NARL, the National Association to Repeal Abortion Laws, because women deserve to have the right over their own bodies. I am pro-choice because women deserve to have the option, especially in rape, to abort their child.
Well, I believe that rape is too close of a call to the he said, she said, especially within marriage. And abortion is just wrong, it's just murder, and I'm pro-life, I'm pro-family.
Even if the woman's life is at risk, do you still think that abortion is not an option?
I think that abortion is never right. There's no way that it is excusable.
Schlafly, I just cannot agree with you on this one.
I don't think I'll ever be able to do it.
Betty Friedan's National Organization for Women's main goals were to end employment ads for single sex, open government daycares, have women in greater numbers appointed to government positions, legalize abortion, and have equality reforms. Now worked on having the 1964 Civil Rights Act and Equal Pay Act of 1963 Act enforced. Betty Friedan experienced prejudice in the workplace because of her sex. Now helps fix prejudice in the workplace for female flight attendants.
The Equal Rights Amendment would have promised an economic boost for women nationwide, which would most likely have granted women a certain cultural benefit. The taboos placed upon women would be lessened with this new sense of equality. The idea of a breadwinner would have been long lost by this day and age with equality and high.
Bring your girls to the crib, maybe we can solve it. Hold up,